Yield to the next speaker, someone who in a few short months has really impressed this committee with her strong voice, and that is Ms. Balint of Vermont.
Thank you so much. As my colleagues have mentioned, we're days away from a government shutdown. And in May, our government nearly defaulted on our debt due to a Republican-manufactured crisis. We know this. We struck a deal to avoid catastrophe, and now we're careening towards a costly and painful shutdown because Republicans want to renege on that bipartisan agreement. That's what we're doing here. Senate Republicans, Senate Democrats, House Democrats, and a majority of the House Republicans, including 15 members of this committee, came together to sign on to a negotiated deal to avert a catastrophic government default. So a colleague on the other side of the aisle recently talked about the importance of not giving in to political theater. What are we doing here? This is the height of political theater. A deal is a deal. Your word is your bond. In Vermont, we have a lot of agreements decided over a handshake. Thank goodness, here we got the deal in writing. A deal's a deal. Let's move beyond this stunt, this nonsense, this theater, and do the actual work of governing. I'm disgusted that here we are, careening towards a shutdown when my home state is dealing with a catastrophic climate emergency that we had this summer. We are still dealing with the effect of flooding, landslides, mudslides, and my home state's capital, Montpelier, lost nearly every single small business in its downtown. Its sister city, just a few miles down the road, lost 10% of its housing because of this catastrophic flooding. And here we are, debating what? Debating whether our word should be our bond, whether we should stick to an agreement that, as I remind you, 15 members on the other side of the aisle in this committee agreed to, and now it's a backtrack. And Vermonters know that that is more than a stunt. It's a dangerous game that we're playing with people's lives. So if there's a government shutdown, FEMA will be unable to continue delivering disaster relief to my home state. This money is urgently needed to rebuild lives and small businesses. The backbone of Vermont is small businesses. People are reeling. And Vermonters, rightly so, are counting on us to actually do our work and show up for them. Counting on us to put aside these stunts, to fund the government so Americans can get the help that they need and deserve and count on to simply rebuild their lives. So families in my home state can put a roof over their heads and put a new furnace in because winter is coming. This budget resolution is just another way to kick working people to the curb. It goes after people on the margins, folks who are looking to come back from the pandemic, from climate disasters, from economic challenges. The federal government should be rushing to their aid and not sitting here in this farce of a hearing. We need to be showing up for Americans who need it the most. Working families in rural America are counting on us to give them the resources they need to get through this difficult time. I yield back.
Thank you, Ms. Balint. And now yield 4 minutes to the gentleman